Alright guys, welcome back to some more of the house in Fata Morgana. I want to thank you all for the love and support you give this series, and also to let you guys know that, oh man, we're hitting that moment again where we're about to hit that pattern of tragic events incoming. So I'm just preparing you guys because you knew it was going to happen. We all saw it coming, but yeah. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this all concludes. So with that said guys, I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. Let's get to it. Alright everyone, and we are back. I want you here with me. All I ask of you for now is to be at my side. You can be scared and you can quiver, but please don't apologize for it. Please don't feel bad about it. I promise not to turn my head away from your pain. So I ask of you, try not to keep it buried. I have no power or influence. I don't know all the right things to say. I am a man with nothing to his name. But the one thing I do have is a heartfelt desire to do whatever I can for you. As soon as I tighten my grip around her waist, she lurched forward, throwing her arms around me. Muffled whimpers resonated against my shoulder where she had buried her head. Eventually, they grew into unfettered sobs. Man, I really feel bad. I'm glad that, she's being comforted. And my bedchamber was enveloped in the sound of weeping. She cried like a little child. The usually strong-willed, cheerful, optimistic Giselle wailed from the depths of her soul. This past year, she had constantly been nudging me forward. It was always her leading the way. There had undoubtedly been moments where she had wanted to cry like this but couldn't. So starting now, I was going to try and support her too. I was sure I would mess something up, as I had little experience being caring. I would probably anger her, probably stress her out, and probably make her cry. But I had found my resolve. I had overcome my hesitation. I was sure I could do it. That I could create a place where she could find peace. I could surely. Giselle didn't stop crying until the sun had begun peeking over the horizon. I had, as I said, not looked away, simply holding her in silence. She had decidedly not childlike frame, but she seemed incredibly small in my arms. We felt each other's warmth through my clothes. Between sniffles, Giselle said softly, "One day, I'm certain, I'll be able to, without any hesitation, be properly joined with you, and it will be wonderful. Right now, I still can't control the shaking, but eventually, I want to be able to put my hands on you too." The affection infused in each and every word was palpable. Sometime later, she drifted off to sleep, exhausted. I prayed from the bottom of my heart that at least tonight she would have pleasant dreams. Morning? No. Afternoon? Master! Good morning. Good morning. Oh, come on. Put a little more oomph into it. Same Giselle as always. I must say, last night was something, Master. I didn't know you had that in you. Just thinking about it. Ow! Hey! That hurt. Oh, let's get that. No, that was real fast. That was a bit fast. Hey, that hurt. What was that for? I was struck with an insatiable urge to whack you. Whatever happened to your heartfelt desire to do whatever you can for me? I don't think hitting me counts. You're tough enough to get over a little bonk. You were being so nice yesterday. Where did that go? So, would you like to explain why you're making dirty jokes first thing in the morning? Yeah, just... I was trying to lighten the mood to hide my embarrassment. Fair enough. Alright, but could you not joke about that in the future? I didn't actually do anything to you. No, you didn't. Sorry. Say, could I ask you something? Yes? You hardly ever use my name. It makes us feel so distant. Could you do something about that, maybe? Babe? No. That is not you at all. Just go with my name, please. He said, babe? What? Wait, what era are they in? Are they in the present era? Because I don't think the word babe was used during those times. But if they're in the present era, then... But the clothes they're wearing, it doesn't seem like it, so I don't know. We've graduated from a master-servant relationship to a romantic relationship, but that is a bit much. Romantic relationship. Exactly, so, in honor of the new us, let's make this last, alright, Mikkel? Alright. At the time, the light that had entered our life seemed unreal and fantastical. But I prayed that it would indeed last, in hope of an equally bright future. I allowed myself to rejoice in the moment, letting the unconquered shadows that lurked in my peripheral remain unseen. Blackness consumes the once colorful space. Giselle still stands before me as she did within the door, but I struggle to reconcile the two scenes. They are both real. They are both her. The lively, spunky girl of the past and the lifeless girl of the present are both Giselle. As different as they seem, they are both her. Why don't we stop there? It was a wonderful story. They overcame their troubles and lived happily ever after. Is that not good enough? It could not be worse than where we are now. All we have to do, then, is erase the now. Throw everything away and start over from where it was better. You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. And that goes for more than just me. Actually, as a matter of fact, those words apply even better to her than me. The ending is already set in stone. It's already happened. What point is there in watching it again? All that accomplishes is making me relive it all. The ending has not been written. We are both here now, which means our end still lies ahead of us. Then, can I ask you to promise not to let go of my hand no matter what? No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. Now I understand. That was a request, even if she didn't perceive it as such. In place of a verbal response, I squeezed her hand in mine. I know where this tale is heading. Toward tragedy. Of course it is. Even I knew that was coming. I just wanted like those brief moments of respites for them. Those like small happy moments. Because they need that, man. They deserve a break. All the other doors we visited ended in tragedy, and ours is no exception. But perhaps what's waiting at the end of this one is even more dire than I imagined. The door to our past swings open once more, behind which lies the end of me, and the beginning of her. Oh no. A month had passed since the night with the rose. Right on schedule, the monthly delivery arrived, but in it was a letter that would dramatically change our lives. Doesn't it always? My father, Antonin, had fallen ill and died. I presumed it was the witch's doing, but she was silent, refusing to respond to my questions. If it wasn't her, then he must have died naturally. It seemed more than a little tasteless to celebrate someone's death, but good taste and reality do not always agree. I was extremely relieved to hear the news. The man had raped Giselle. He had tried to have me killed. And now, he was gone from this world. I'd been waiting for this moment for years. His passing had another effect as well. My death could be revoked. Many years ago, my brother had told me that when he succeeded our father, he would welcome me back to the Bollinger estate, and I could be part of the family once more. Which meant this letter signaled the end of my banishment. Not sure how to feel about it. Yeah, rejoicing doesn't seem really appropriate. But this means you can return home now, right? In theory. My brother is set to take control of the estate, so he should be accommodating. I'm gonna write a letter, have them send us a carriage. It is much too long a distance to walk. Alright. I'm excited. What should we do first when we get back to the capital? Oh, I know. How about you stop by my place? My mom and sister won't believe their eyes. Oh, don't tell me her family's killed. That would suck. My time in this mansion was almost at its end. The future I had only vaguely envisioned was now within my reach. I had always spoken of this moment predicated with eventually, like it was some kind of unobtainable fantasy. But now that it was practically a reality, I realized I hadn't actually given it much thought. Hey, are you still awake? I am. Not a great night for sleeping, huh? Are you thinking about your family? It all seems so surreal. Yeah, it does. This house is like a desert island cut off from the world, which makes everything feel kind of like a fairy tale sometimes. Even what we have. From time to time, I get the feeling that nothing is real. That the outside world is just a figment of my imagination. That my entire life only ever existed within these walls. Are you nervous? Maybe I am. I always thought that when this day arrived, it would be more cathartic. I'm sorry, I'm finally able to take you back to the capital, and I can't seem to get past my own negativity. It's only natural to be nervous. I am too. I haven't spent nearly as long as you living in this mansion, but I know how you feel because I feel the same way. Not knowing what the future holds, it's scary. You know, I was thinking, I would be okay with staying. I mean, I would love to return to the capital, and I miss my family dearly. But even if I never get to see them again, in no way would I consider myself unhappy. I honestly think I've got a pretty wonderful life. If you're not comfortable going back to that house, and you're just saying you'll endure it for me, Giselle, there are other paths we can take. You could live with your family, or you could remain here in the mansion. Not at all, no. I want to. No matter where I go, you'll be there with me, Mikkel. It's true I am nervous not knowing what the future holds, but not in a scared something bad might happen kind of way. It's more of a jittery, excited anxiousness. I'm confident that the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles may come our way. Together we can create an even more wonderful future. Don't worry, Mikkel. The future's nothing to be afraid of. Man, I love her positivity though. You make it sound like I'm paralyzed with fear. But you are, aren't you? Hey now, don't give me that look. Once again, she's the one pushing me forward. I want to make sure you have a good, happy life. Thank you. What? Nothing. I'm feeling kind of sentimental, thinking about how we've only got a little time left here. It wasn't perfect, but it was an important part of my life. Indeed. Say. Yes? Well, I think I could handle it right now, probably. It? Oh, use your head, you little... I don't follow. Ugh, how can you be so dense? I mean, you know, touching and so forth. You know, take the next step. I'm saying I'm feeling up for that right now. Yo, Mikkel is so funny. I can imagine his face. He's like, well, what are you getting at? It's not proper for a woman to bring up that subject, is it? But I did kind of ask you to wait. And I feel bad leading you on for so long. Yeah. I'm sorry. You're shaking. I'm just really emotional, that's all. You don't need to force yourself if you're not ready. I can wait as long as you need. Besides... Never mind. It's fine. There's no need to rush things. You don't need to worry. Yeah. I wrote 2 letters. One to my brother. And one to my mother. One so Giselle could return. And one so I could be myself. To demonstrate who I was. I had to prove that I was not cursed. For failing to do that would not only bring her grief, it might become the final crack in the identity I had built up for myself. I had to convince her that I was neither a demon nor angel, but a human man who had fallen in love with a human woman. However, I was too foolish to realize that the future I envisioned was nothing but a fantasy. Had I been able to grasp that, then maybe I could have taken her somewhere far away, where no one knew who we were, where things might have turned out differently. It's gonna suck. They were happy. It's been really foggy out lately. I'd rather if we left when it was clear. It would be terrible if the coachman rolled the carriage because he couldn't see where we were going. If there wasn't so much fog, I would probably have been able to see little columns of orange evening sunlight finding their way through the trees. But the milky white mist seemed to swallow up all the light, leaving nothing for the surrounding area. It was a rather dreary weather. I wonder when they'll be here. Although, if they never do show up, that's okay too. I was finally able to return to the capital with Mikkel, to see my family again. And that was wonderful. It was like a dream come true. But it wouldn't disappoint me if that didn't end up happening. I didn't care where I ended up, as long as Mikkel was there with me. That's all that matters. I should probably close the windows. The coach isn't likely to show up at night, I don't think. I reached my hands out to shut a window, which is when I saw something wavering beyond the heavy mist. Light? And it wasn't just one. Looking closer revealed several more flickering spots. They moved up and down slowly but rhythmically. As more and more came into view, my mind began seeing them as people carrying torches. They're coming this way? Could they be our escorts? Back to the capital? Oh, no, that can't. Nope. I already know what this is about. Though, what? As soon as the thought, there sure are a lot, popped into my head, something whizzed past my cheek. What? Huh? What was? Huh? Why? What? It was an arrow. Giselle! What? The arrow had flown through the window and pierced the opposite wall. Had Mikkel not knocked me out of the way. Giselle, are you okay? I'm fine. But what? What's going on? Never mind that. Right now we need to run. Huh? Wait, Mikkel! Now! There's no time to talk. Stay out of sight of the windows. Got it. He grabbed my hand and broke into a run. A relentless storm of arrows showered through the windows we had worked so hard to get open a year ago. This wasn't what we had gone through with that all effort for. Wait, this wasn't what we had gone through all that effort for. There you go. Once I opened the front door, run. Wait, is that smart? If they're, they're coming through your place, right? Like, do you have no back exits or something? We have to get as far from this house as quickly as we can. What was happening? Why did we have to run? Why were those people firing arrows at us? With the wave of questions came a wave of fear. I couldn't say anything. The sheer terror had frozen my jaw in place. Get ready. I nodded, squeezing his hand tight. I knew it would just be another obstacle to to his safe escape, but I didn't want to let go of his hand. I was afraid that if I did, I would never be able to hold it again. Are you alright? I'm fine. But how? There are people out front too. Damn it! Why? Several arrows were sticking out of the floor before us. Beyond the door, which Mikhail had managed to shut almost immediately, rang a cacophony of whoosh thump, whoosh thump. We can't escape. Why? What's going on? Damn it! With a deep scowl, Mikhail barred the door, and all the while, the arrows kept flying. The panic in the air kept growing thicker. I don't understand. How did they... Only a handful of people even know about this place. This is all my fault. It's because I told the villagers about this place. They think a demon lives here, not a human. So they're here to tear down the house. They made weapons, bows, just for this. I don't... There was a deep rumble and the ground below us shook. I almost fell to the floor. They're trying to break down the door, it seems. Mikhail, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. Because of what I did. No. What? It's not your fault. It's mine. Mikhail? I challenged her, and because I did, she made my curse real. What are you talking about, Mikhail? This way, run! Mikhail dragged me through the mansion's corridors until we reached the chamber with the stained glass window. At the far end of the room sat a small door. Where does it lead? I had been aware of the door's presence, but I had never gone inside it. Something about it seemed somewhat different than the rest of the house. I wasn't sure how to describe it exactly, but it felt like shadows had taken root here. The observation tower. A tower? But if we go up there, we're putting ourselves in a corner. It doesn't matter where we go, they have us trapped. But there's a chance that up here... He didn't finish that thought, however. He opened the door leading me into the tower, his face deathly pale. And we come back to the tower again. We started running again, around and around the spiral staircase, making our way toward the top. In regular intervals along the wall were rectangular windows. A layer of fog still lay thick across the land. Peering out into it made me feel like we had been thrown into a dream world. If it weren't for the orange spots of torchlight surrounding the mansion, the silhouettes holding the torches, is that armor? Appeared to be knights. Mikhail, tell me, why do you think this is your fault? What is your curse? Your curse. It isn't just the color of your hair and eyes, is it? There's more to it, isn't there? There's something else, isn't there? Mikhail's gaze was firmly directed forward as he frantically led me up the stairs. We were breathing hard and the sound of it echoed against the tower's stone walls. Our panicked hearts were beating so hard. I was afraid they might be able to hear it outside. Eventually, we made it to the top. A pile of discarded rope lay unceremoniously at the foot of the door, presumably once used to seal it shut. The door itself was deeply weathered and rotting in places. It had obviously been left sitting in disrepair, even longer than Mikhail had lived here. What is this? Inside! Frigid air nipped at my skin, and it wasn't a pleasant, refreshing kind of cool, but a bitter, oppressive cold. This room felt unlike any other in the mansion. This is an observation tower. You can't even... There once would have been windows allowing you to see in all directions around the mansion, but all that remains now is that tiny opening near the ceiling. If we hide out here, then there's a chance they might not find us. sounds like they broke down the door. Don't worry, they won't find us. And when they give up their search, then we can get out of here. I'm sure it'll all turn out alright. Mikhail's voice was quivering, as was his hand in mine. Mikhail. We huddled together, feeling each other's warmth in our arms. My free hand clenched his shirt for dear life. I'm sorry. What? I'm to blame for this. It's my fault you're in this mess. The pain you had to experience, your being sent to this place, and what's happening now can all be tracked back to my being born. I'm so sorry. Why was he apologizing? Why did he insist this was his fault? Why wouldn't he tell me what his curse was? Why were people trying to kill us? Right, those people were trying to kill us. Putting it into words like that made the fear that much more real. The arrows they fired weren't threats. They meant to kill us. Mikhail. But with Mikhail trembling in my arms, I couldn't bring myself to ask those questions. What meaning would those answers even have with death lurking so close behind us? All I could do was pray. Pray that he was right, that they wouldn't find us and we would be able to escape. However, over here, there's a door and stairs leading up. My hopes were shattered by the sound of voices from below. I could hear a faint clanking of armor. Our grips on each other tightened, and our trembling intensified. Fear swelled within the tower, making us its slaves. Giselle. We were both terrified, and who wouldn't be? Fairy tale heroes could be magically courageous in the face of overwhelming danger, but they weren't real. The fear of my impending death drawing nearer and nearer with each passing moment almost drove me into madness. I couldn't think clearly. My heart was having trouble keeping up. My head was big. My head was a big white mess. We were supposed to return to the capital, start a new life. Finally obtain our happiness. It was right there at our fingertips. Enough happiness to make up for Mikhail's 10 years of isolation. And enough to erase that nightmare from my memory forever. What had we done to have that taken away from us? We just loved each other and wanted a quiet life together, nothing outrageous. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. But what scared me the most was being separated from Mikhail. Hey, Mikhail, what are those people really doing here? If what they're after is money or valuables, we can offer them everything in the mansion. We don't need any of it. If they don't want us to return to the capital, then we can tell them we'll stay here. They might be willing to talk it over. I don't care if I lose everything else. As long as I have you, I can survive anywhere. All that mattered was that we had our lives, so long as the two of us still breathe. But death. Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch. Despair hung over us like a fog outside. There were no heretics, no witches, no unholy ones here. But they would probably never listen to us. The moment we stepped outside of this room, we would be dead no matter what we said. Mikhail, I'm all right. It's okay, Mikhail. I'm not scared. You're here with me after all. I'm fine. It's all fine. So please hold me until it's all over. Please stay with me. Finally you speak. Mikhail? He wasn't looking at me though. His unfocused eyes were directed upward. Not forward at any particular point, but wandering aimlessly. His purplish lips appeared to move, as though he was speaking, but no sound came out. Hey, Mikhail. Are you alright? Come back to me, Mikhail. I grabbed him by the shoulders and shook, but he didn't even seem to notice. No matter how many times I called to him, he didn't look down from the emptiness above. Mikhail! Giselle. Finally, after far too long, his gaze slid down to meet mine. He looked defeated, exhausted, and cornered all at once. I was scared too, but his fear seemed to have consumed him entirely. Please hear me out, Giselle. I never thought anything good would become of my life. I never thought I would find anyone who truly understood me, who would be happy to have my love. And for that, I hated the world. I was in constant torment, living in the shadows. But then, a single ray of light shone down on me. Mikkel. You, Giselle. You delivered me from the darkness. I'm scared, Giselle. I'm terrified. I used to think my life was meaningless, that it didn't matter if I lived or died. But now, I can't stop shaking. That's perfectly normal. I'm scared to death too, but what scares me most is losing you. Mikkel. I should have noticed. Noticed his arms were tensing up. Noticed and stopped him. So please allow me to repay you. I said I would do anything for you, so let me do this. I haven't given you anything. I haven't done anything for you. So give me one final chance. Mikkel! What are you doing? Get back in here, Mikkel! Why? The door! I can't open it! I shoved on the door trying to go after him, but it wouldn't budge even the slightest bit. It was as though there had never been a door there at all, merely a wall disguised as one. It wasn't someone holding it shut from the other side either. And I pulled with all my might, but I couldn't even manage to eke out the tiniest crack. Mikkel! Mikkel! What'd you do to the door? Come on, get back in here! I don't want to lose you either. Say something, Mikkel. You're out there, aren't you? Please. Please don't do anything rash. They're going to kill you if you're out there. Giselle, the witch told me. What? That she would ensure your safety. Mikkel, she isn't real. There is no witch talking to you. It's all in your head. A figment of your imagination created to alleviate your loneliness. Rest assured, she does not lie. Mikkel! Please listen. You are a wonderful woman, Giselle. Spirited, true to yourself, deeply sympathetic. You are not to blame for how difficult your life has been. Most of the fault lies with me, and a bit of bad fortune. But that's all behind you now. Once this is over, you can start anew. What are you talking about? So, survive. Live a good, fulfilling life. Move past this. Live your life and always love your family. I know you can do it. That is my wish for you. We all saw this coming, guys. I am deeply upset. But I'm going to have to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, I believe we'll be concluding this semi-tragic, semi-happy story. So anyways, guys, thank you again. Until the next one.